Macros, Mindset, and Muscles.
I'm Coach James.
And I'm Coach Brittany.
We're here to give you the truth about health and fitness.
No gimmicks, no bullshit, just facts.
Welcome back. I'm starting us off today. I'm not sure what episode this is, what number. I've kind of lost count.
Episode number 7.
Number 7. Lucky number 7.
Is it lucky?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Maybe.
And then with like dice you roll, it's like 7 or 11.
Sure.
I don't know. I never was good at stuff like that.
I don't know. I like Yahtzee.
Yahtzee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played that.
What?
I've never played Yahtzee.
Y'all heard this, right? This motherfucker has never played Yahtzee?
No, like I was.
How have you never played Yahtzee?
I was playing Monopoly, and you ever play Monopoly? Like it lasts forever. So like I started playing Monopoly when I was like 4, and when I was about 15, we finished the game.
But how have you never played Yahtzee?
I just haven't.
I don't know if we can be friends anymore.
Well, I mean, I play spades, dominoes.
Yeah.
I'm from the hood.
Okay, I understand, but it's Yahtzee.
Well, I mean, they play dice. I know, but we weren't playing no Yahtzee. We were shooting dice out on the street.
I don't even know what I got myself into.
I don't either. I'm from Memphis.
Okay. Anyways.
Come on, man.
Lord have mercy. Okay, so today, macros. Macros defined is our topic today. We have talked a lot about mindset stuff and the muscle, like how to get started in the gym, what the different terms mean. So now we're going to go to macros.
Macros, which is the most important part.
And it's really the part that most people overcomplicate. Working out is really the easy part because as long as you're moving your body, that's all that matters. But most people just don't understand how to fuel their bodies properly. And we try different diets and fads and trends. And macros is a diet, technically. It's just a way of like tracking calories in a more specific way.
Yeah.
So, what are macros?
Brittany, what are macros?
James, I asked you, what are macros?
Macros is short for macronutrients.
You totally read that off the screen.
That's straight out of my brain.
Yeah, so macros, short for macronutrients. Macronutrients are the 3 most important nutrients that your body needs. Like, the energy that your body gets comes from macros. Mostly.
Okay, so macros, there are 3 of them.
Yes,
that's what we're saying.
Yeah, there's 3.
Brittany, what are those 3 macronutrients, please?
Hang on, let me read directly off my screen because my brain...
Please do so. At least it'll be accurate.
So, the 3 macros are protein, carbohydrates, aka carbs, and fats.
Fats.
Yeah.
So fats are good?
Of course fats are good. Everything is okay in moderation.
Well, some people think, carbs are bad. Fats are bad.
And we'll get to that.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get going then. Let's start with protein.
All right. So protein. Protein is actually the most important macro because every cell in your body is comprised of protein. It is the building block of every cell in your body. Protein also has the highest thermic effect of food. So when you eat more protein, your body has to work harder to break it down, which means you burn more calories just by eating more protein.
Makes sense. I mean...
And it helps you stay full longer, too. So, like, protein is kind of king here.
Yeah, it is number 1. For every 1 gram of protein, there are 4 calories to that. So... whenever you're tracking macros, we don't really track calories. I mean, you can figure out what the total calorie count is, but really what we're shooting for certain macro numbers.
And some people will go for a certain percentage of your total calories, like, 40, 40, 20 or 35, 35, 30. I mean, there's different ways to focus on the percentage, but of course it has to add up to 100.
Right.
And then some people focus on like total grams. And this is where you get more specific, when you are, say, dieting with a goal in mind, like bodybuilding or just general weight loss, or even like when you're trying to gain mass, knowing these numbers and where you're at is really important. And this is why a lot of people use macros in bodybuilding.
Right. So protein's one of the just recap. Protein, most important macronutrient. What are some examples of protein?
Oh, we could go on about this.
Okay,
so what are your favorites?
My favorites are the ones that I eat all the time. Sorry about that. Excuse me. I did not pass gas. That was literally the mic stand moving.
So stop moving it.
Okay. Well, I didn't want everybody to think that I'm over here busting ass on the podcast. I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but
anyway,
that time,
your favorite sources of protein.
Steak.
What kind of steak?
Beef. I just snorted. It kind of goes in my mouth. That's what kind of steak I like.
That's what she said.
Jesus. Oh my God. Woo.
No, but seriously, okay, steak. Be specific. Come on, help people out here.
I like ribeye steak. My favorite.
So ribeye's great. And it's high in protein, but it's also high in fat.
Right, well, we don't even know what fat is yet.
Yeah, but we're getting there. So on the opposite end of that, you could eat something like sirloin, which is a leaner cut of protein. It doesn't have as much fat. So some other sources of protein that we both eat a lot of: eggs.
Eggs are great.
Egg whites. So here's the thing about eggs, okay? And again, we're going to talk about fats too, but a whole egg has just as much protein as it does fat. So it's not really the best source. Like a whole egg is not the best source of protein.
For lean protein.
For lean protein. But egg whites have zero fats, and they are great to top off your macros.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in a later on discussion we can talk about all the things that you can get from a whole egg. But they are great, but it's not, like you said, it's not a great source for a lean protein for a whole egg.
So other sources.
Chicken.
Lean protein. Boneless, skinless chicken.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with the fats if you have them, but if you're tracking macros, lean is going to be the way you want to go. So boneless, skinless chicken, whitefish, shellfish, tuna, pork tenderloin,
shrimp.
That's shellfish.
Yeah. Well. I mean,
scrimps. It's scrimps.
Scrimps.
Anyway.
I like buffalo shrimp. I like teriyaki shrimps.
Ground turkey, lean ground beef. I don't know if we already said that once or twice, but we're going to say it again.
Shrimp gumbo.
Protein powder. Also, there's like multiple kinds of protein powder that can really help you get your protein numbers in the beginning of a journey.
So yeah, protein powders, if you're going to be specific, if you have any dietary restrictions, protein powders are all different. Different ones get their protein from different sources. The most common is whey protein. And if you've ever heard that old nursery rhyme, your porridge and whey, that's where it comes from. It's a byproduct from when they make cheese.
I'm going to need you to cite your source.
Dairy. Science. Would you never heard of science before?
No, your nursery
Dr.
rhyme
Fauci?
source.
Do you want my nursery rhyme?
Okay, you're getting too controversial here.
It's not controversial.
So, yeah, protein is a great way. Like, most people, when they're starting out counting macros, they're severely under eating protein, and they're just eating the bare minimum that they need to survive, not thrive.
That's
so,
right.
Adding in a protein shake, whether it's like a single scoop or a double scoop, any protein shake added to your diet can help you hit your numbers in the beginning until you learn how to eat.
So the whole thing I was going for with the protein shake is, depending on your dietary restrictions, there's all types of protein powders. There's whole meat based, there's plant based, there's egg protein powders. There is a little bit of everything. So just because you may be on a plant based diet does not mean that there's not an option out there for you. So I encourage you to check those out.
The most common plant protein is like pea protein,
Mm.
and the texture is just weird.
Yeah, I'm not. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of plant proteins. Personally, because they tend to be a little bit gritty, a little sandy.
Yeah, texture's a
Yeah,
lot different.
texture's a big thing. And me personally, my stomach, they didn't agree with my stomach. I became very gassy and bloated. So is it like that for everybody? Nope. For me, yep. So
I think you and I both do best with like a isolate,
yeah, very much so.
which we use Dymatize ISO 100. You can literally buy that almost anywhere.
We should really do a episode on like supplements, like dive deeper into like some of the different supplements and.
We will. We'll get there.
Oh, will we?
Yeah.
I have your permission.
You totally have my permission.
That's gonna be my episode.
That is gonna be your episode. See, macros and like nutrition is kind of like my shining moment because
go ahead and
I deal with your
dog.
nutrition too.
Shine.
So, anyways,
protein, macronutrient.
Yes. No, we just finished talking about protein.
I know, that's what I said.
Oh
I was recapping for everybody. So, protein, great macronutrient. Now, we're moving on to...
So, that's all you're going to recap. Recap.
You recrap. You recrap all the time. Okay, so protein, there's different sources. Meat, plant. It's essential for building muscle. All your cells, all your body runs on protein. It's awesome. Good stuff.
Eat more of it.
Eat mo.
Eat mo.
Eat mo. You know what I mean?
All right. So on to the next one, carbs. Carbs also have 4 calories per 1 gram. So that's great,
Right.
There's a big misconception that people think, oh, carbs make you gain fat. It's false.
Nope.
Carbs do not make you gain fat. The only thing that makes you gain fat is eating in a calorie surplus. So the reason why you tend to weigh more when you eat more carbs is because of water retention. For every 1 gram of carb you eat, you store roughly 3 to 4 grams of water. So naturally, if you're storing more water, you're going to weigh a little more on the scale, but that's not the same as fat gain. Like, the water retention will go away.
Right. Like people who all of a sudden they're like, I'm gonna go on low carb, and they cut all their carbs out, or they're like, I'm gonna do keto, and they jump on keto, and they're like, I've lost 10 pounds of fat like in the first week.
It doesn't happen like that. It's literally water weight in the beginning, and these diets, like, ultimately you have to do what's going to work for you, but at the same time, like, you need to understand the science behind why diets work, why these. Like keto, why it works, and it's not because you're cutting out carbs, it's because you're eating in a calorie deficit.
Boom.
But that's, again, a whole nother topic.
Next episode.
So, not next episode.
Okay.
Carbs are also your body's preferred energy source. So when you eat carbs, it turns into glycogen and gets stored in your muscles. And when you work out, your muscles utilize glycogen as its energy source. So if you're feeling sluggish, doing your workouts, or even if you're a runner, like, this is a big one that I'm a runner, not at the moment, but
run in your mouth.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Anyways, so if you're feeling sluggish or tired before your workouts, you should try to consume carbs roughly 30 to 60 minutes before and see if that makes a difference. Every person's different. Now, this isn't like everybody is like this. Some people do respond better to less carbs, but science says your muscles like carbs.
Oh, you used the same source I did.
Yeah.
I like that.
Dr. Google.
Dr. Google?
No. He was in one of those certifications, somewhere.
You got a whole book full of them.
Yeah, well, I like to learn.
All right, give us some examples of some of these carbs you're talking about.
Okay, so my favorite sources of carbs, potatoes.
I do like potatoes.
I love potatoes. I like them mashed. I like them baked. I like them air fried. I like them in the form of like French fries. Those are pretty great.
Yeah, that's good.
I could totally go for some French fries right now. Anyways, So potatoes, white and sweet, rice, quinoa, um, oats. What about you?
Well, I mean, my favorite, like the easiest for me to eat is going to be potatoes. I like potatoes a lot. Sweet potatoes are good. I really like them.
Cream of rice. We both eat a lot of cream of rice.
I like cream of rice because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy and you can make it taste like whatever you want it to taste like.
Yeah, if you want it sweet, it can be sweet. If you want it savory,
it
can be savory, which we're kind of the opposite. Like you like yours sweet, like you put protein powder in yours, whereas I like mine savory, and I use this like cheese. It's like cheese powder mix. It's like really low cal, macro friendly. My friend Stephanie turned me on to it, and I put like uncured ham in it.
Yeah.
And that's my protein source when I have cream of rice.
Yes, I eat a lot of rice, cream of rice, things like that. But you can only eat so much rice before you get sick of it. So the cream of rice is nice. Potatoes are great. Sweet potatoes. Oatmeal in the morning is good. It has more fiber than cream of rice. So
yeah, cream of rice has like
nothing.
No fiber.
No fiber,
it's
no
like
fat.
Straight carbs. So if you're like short on carbs for the day, but you don't have protein or fats left over, go for some cream of rice.
Yeah, it's definitely a good go-to.
Throw some cinnamon in with a little like stevia, bam, you got a little sweet treat.
Put a little salt and pepper on it. It makes it feel like it's potatoes.
Really. Bread is also a big source of carbs. And pasta. Everybody loves pasta. I love pasta.
Everybody loves pasta. So, I mean, there are different carbs that have better, or not better, I don't want to say better, different ways of utilizing that carb. But for this discussion, we won't really get too deep into that.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Mm-hmm. Shut up, James. That's what that says.
All right. So summing up carbs, 4 calories per 1 gram. Body's preferred energy source. Does not make you gain fat, despite what the internet and social media will try to tell you. But on to the next, we have fats.
Fat.
And fats also do not make you fat, despite their name. So fats...
What do you mean fat doesn't make you fat?
Fat doesn't make you fat.
Oh, okay. Let's make sure I heard
Eating a surplus of calories will make you fat. Crazy, right?
That's just crazy.
So fats have the lowest thermic effect of food. So that just means that you don't burn as many calories consuming them. Your body doesn't have to work as hard to break them down.
Okay, there's 1 gram of fat yields about 9 calories, which is more than double of carbs and protein.
Yeah, so when you eat more fats, you're eating more calories by default because per gram they have more.
Yeah.
So you just really have to be mindful of the amount of fats that you take in. And you don't realize how many fats you eat until you start tracking.
Right. Well,
peanut butter. Let's talk about peanut butter, okay? Because this is a prime example, and I'm very passionate about peanut butter.
If y'all could see how excited she just got, I mean, she literally just jumped up out of the seat and flared her arms, almost poking me in the eye over peanut butter. But let's hear it. Let's hear about that peanut butter. We know that my
arms aren't long enough to reach you from here.
So. That's true. That's true.
Anyways, peanut butter, okay? So there's a big, misconception again with peanut butter that people think it's really high in protein. It's not.
Nope.
It's very low in protein, actually, like 8-ish grams at the most, I think. And it's got like 17 grams of fat per 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is not the serving you all are giving yourselves.
It ain't shit.
2 tablespoons of peanut butter is nothing. Like, it's barely enough to cover like a rice cake.
The only way to accurately do it for me is I have to use a scale.
Yeah, and weigh it.
And weigh
Was it like 28 grams, 32 grams, something like that?
It's 33.
I think it depends on which peanut butter.
Yeah, it does. But mine was like 33 grams for 1 serving, which is, not that much.
It's really not. And it's not that satisfying. Like, peanut butter is amazing, but 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is not satisfying at all. Like, for 17 grams of fat, I could literally eat like 3.5 whole eggs and I would be much more like satisfied in terms of like hunger.
Right. But fat is very important with your diet. Fat has a lot of major roles.
Brain development, brain health, hormones, all that good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, your body does use it for energy too, through your daily life, not high intensity stuff, but it is important.
It is. So now that we've talked about the 3 different types of macros,
protein, carbs, and fats,
we're going to talk about the pros and cons of counting macros. So counting macros it's really similar to counting calories. Like you're just focusing on your intake of the 3 macros instead of your total calorie count. So same concept, different focus. The cool thing about macros is you can change up your macro intake and keep the same calorie count just to see if your body responds differently. So if you're eating 150 grams of protein, 170 grams of carbs, and 40 grams of fat, this is just random ass numbers, I don't know. If you take 20 grams away from your carbs and you add it to your protein, it's the same calorie count, but the thermic effect of your food has changed. So because you upped your protein, your body's going to work harder to break it down, but you're keeping the same calorie count. Your body might respond differently than if you had more carbs.
I need like a scratch piece of paper to do that math, but it sounds accurate.
Well, if I'm taking 20 from carbs and adding it to protein, and they both have 4 calories per 1 gram, the math is there.
I'm not saying that the math was wrong. I was talking about like my inability to like do it in my head like that. I'm old school. Like I need pen and paper for things like that. But yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the pro. Like you kind of learn what your body likes when you're counting macros. There are cons to it. Also, before I go to the cons, the pros is that like you know exactly what you're getting. So there's no guesswork. Like if you're tracking everything and you're measuring, you know where you're at. So if you need to make changes in your diet to support your goals, whether that is cutting body fat or gaining mass, like you know exactly what your intake is. So there's no guesswork.
Right.
The cons. Do you want to?
It takes work. You have to do it. Like when you go into the gym, you have a plan. You're going to do this exercise for this long at this weight or whatnot. It's applying that same thing, same strategy, but to each meal.
Mm-hmm. So it can feel like a chore, especially in the beginning when you're trying to build that routine. It's tedious. Like you have to learn what foods have what macro content, but the more you track, the more you learn. I've been tracking macros for so long. If a client texts me and asks me, hey, I have X amount of protein, X amount of carbs, and X amount of fats left, what can I eat to hit my macros? Like I could literally tell them something to eat that would help them hit their macros.
Which I'm the exact opposite because I'm not very good at eating different things and then just adjusting things and changing it daily. What works best for me is to have a meal plan. So coming up with a daily meal plan that meets those macro goals. And what I do is I just repeat it.
Over and over and
over. And over again.
Same thing. Every day.
But in doing that, like my shopping is simple. My prepping is simple. More simpler. Is that a word? Anyway.
Your prep.
Right, yeah.
Hilarious.
But, everybody does things differently. Now, there may be a meal that I do change up. If so, then I'm not as good as Brittany. I have to actually look up how many carbs were in that meal, how much protein, fat, and then just like figure it out.
Yeah, or you just ask me.
Or I call somebody that knows what they're talking about.
Call somebody. Who else are you calling?
You.
Exactly. So another con of counting macros is actually can be very triggering for people with eating disorders or disordered eating habits.
Right.
So we don't tend to recommend it for people that have those, those issues. Also, you should talk with a therapist if you do have disordered eating habits or eating disorders. Um, I am mindful of every client that comes to me. Some of my clients can come to me and they can full on track and it's fine. It doesn't bother them. Others, they cannot track at all. And we just try to focus on, eating more nutrient dense foods most of the time, but still enjoying life without, severe restrictions or anything like that.
Right. It's not really tricky. I mean, it's just math. It comes down to math and doing the work of actually logging your food. I mean, there's apps that help you when you go.
Which we'll get to those.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, James is done talking now.
So another con is like it does require you to weigh your food for accuracy. Like you have to weigh or measure it. You can't just really like eyeball something unless you're consistently eyeballing it the same exact way every single time. Consistency is what matters when it comes to tracking.
I agree.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add to
No,
those cons?
apparently we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. You know what I mean? Right.
You're ridiculous. I can't even deal with you.
All right.
Okay, so go ahead. Talk about the last little part there.
What part is that?
We're talking about macro tracking methods.
See, you already stole my thing.
No, go ahead.
There are tracking apps. You can also do hand portion tracking, which is using your hand as the measurement. So, which is more of it's not as accurate, but it can be a very close.
Well, and it can be a very good tool for people who may be struggling like with disordered type eating. If you're focusing on like serving sizes instead, right?
Yeah.
So like the palm of your hand is the size of a protein portion, and you should have that with every meal. A cupped hand is your carb amount, right? So, and usually depending on the person, it's anywhere from like 1 to 4 cupped hands. So like me, I would have 1 cupped hand of carbs and you would have 4.
I can see you like piling it on to your
try
cupped hand, and then like using your other hand to like push it down like it's a snowball, and then like adding more to it. And just like it's just one cupped hand, I swear.
And then veggies are fist size, so you want lots of veggies on your plates. And the portion for veggies is a fist. It's 1 to like 3 fists.
Gotcha.
And then your fat servings would be a thumb-sized portion. So like a tablespoon of butter or a tablespoon of peanut butter or give me another fat source, avocados, right?
Yes.
Like maybe a quarter of an avocado or something like that.
Gotcha.
So that's how you would track using hands, tracking apps.
Now with those apps, there's so many of them out there. I don't know anyone to like really recommend other than
MyFitnessPal is most common. So
Brittany has one she'd like to mention to everybody. What was that one?
MyFitnessPal. I'm going to go over the apps because I do the tracking. So MyFitnessPal, Lose It. We actually have macro tracking within our app for clients.
It's the most accurate one out there.
So we prefer to use our app with clients, but we also do integrate with MyFitnessPal. So if you're already tracking on MyFitnessPal or even Fitbit, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to change what you're doing because we can sync that information.
Right. What's cool about those apps is they're pre-programmed to a lot of things that you may go out to eat or order out somewhere. So you go over to this restaurant and you order this number 5 somewhere.
You just have to type in the food.
You just type it in and it's already got, the protein count, the fat count, the carb count, and it logs it for you. So it takes a lot of that guesswork or like research out of it.
Yeah.
For people that do those things.
With our app, we track in many ways. So we have a calorie only option. We have a calorie focus, and you hit your protein goals. So like that's a big one. I usually start people off there because most people are familiar with calorie counting, but macros, like focus on macros, is new and it can be confusing. And like we said earlier, most people undereat protein. So we want protein to be the one that you focus on hitting first. So calorie and protein focus is one. And then we have a full macro focus as well. And you can enter that data like by typing in the information, by syncing from Fitbit, like I had said, or MyFitnessPal. But we also have like a picture option. So for those who might be more sensitive to tracking, from eating disorders or disordered eating habits, a picture might be a better way for them because it's not getting into the nitty gritty, like obsessive type of behavior of tracking.
Gotcha. Well said.
You're awfully quiet over there.
Well, I don't have any. I mean, this is your realm. This is, this is where you shine.
Okay. Well, like you said, supplements will be all you.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of talking.
So that pretty much covers the basics of macros.
I have something I'd like to say, though.
What?
Wow, you look so disappointed right now.
No, you just randomly Anyways, what would you like to say, James?
It's very important. I think it's very important to work with a knowledgeable coach because you can track your food all you want and be accurate 100% and still be overeating.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say about that.
Okay. Yeah, you're totally right.
And knowing when to make those adjustments and things like that are key.
Well, and your coach can help you with that too if they know what they're doing.
Right.
And you could be thinking that you're tracking 100% accurately, but you're not because you're not counting your liquid calories. Or if you're a mom like me, those little bites of mac and cheese that you make for the kids during dinner time, like all those things add up.
I'll tell you the thing that really sneaks up on you is like sauce.
Sauce, yep.
I mean, it can get you off track real quickly.
Dressings, salad dressing. Let me tell you, again, on ranch, okay?
Serving size,
2 tablespoons of ranch is not a lot. You're not going to cover your whole salad with 2 tablespoons of ranch.
Better throw some water on it, shake it up.
Shake it up. That's the best way with salad dressings if you're going to go by servings.
Just water it down.
Yep, and shake.
Water and shake.
And shake it with only the lettuce on it first so that the lettuce is all coated. Then add all the good stuff.
There you go. Water it down.
But anyways, so that touches on macros. If we miss anything or if y'all have any specific questions, you can reach out to us on Instagram, on our business page at phoenix.transformations, or on our individual pages at
Gatewood 901
and brittanyD.fitness. But until next time, that is it.
Yeah.
You're not going to give us your usual. I'm James.
I'm James.
Thanks for listening to Macros, Mindset, and Muscles. Until next time.
I'm James.
I'm Brittany. We're out.